It is Monday, January the 5th. 18 weeks are in the books. It is time for the NFL postseason. We're going to dive deep into week 18. There's a lot of opinions going around the city of Philadelphia. Myles Garrett has made some history. There's a lot to go through. And we have the college football playoff semifinals this week. It's been a week. So do us a favor, kick back, relax. It's time to be real. It's time to be realistic. It's time to be unbiased. And that time starts right now. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. Coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, you guys know the deal. This is the station that unites fans, ignites debate, and I feel like we're going to have a lot of interesting conversation tonight that may ignite some debate. So look, this show is going to be all over the place. We've got a lot. We have college football playoff predictions. We'll give our thoughts on the semifinals that are coming up this week, or the quarterfinals. I don't know anymore.
You're in the semi.
We're going to the semis. But anyway, we'll get to that later on in the show. We'll give our picks. We'll give a little thoughts about the games from last week. We know that it came on after the Friday night gridiron picks, but the scheduling doesn't. It's just weird. We don't have an opportunity really to talk about till the following Monday. But anyway, as always, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how are we on this beautiful day?
Oh, just enjoying another day, another division championship. All is good. It still feels like a victory Monday. Well, speaking of it, yeah.
No.
A win is a win.
Look, Anthony, congratulations on the win. Look, it was a rough year for the Commanders. All I hope is that they learn something this year. You need younger players.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't want to jump too far off the freaking ship early on. I got to ask a question. When the heck did old-ass Von Miller have 9 sacks?
No idea.
The man's still playing like he in Denver.
Wow, that's actually surprising. I forgot most of the year that he was with the Commanders.
All you have to do is look up every NFL player who's over the age of 35.
And I would also see Josh Johnson.
By the way, CBS. We get it. He's 39 years old. You don't have to bring it up every freaking.
Oh, they brought it up. They brought it up every time.
Crap! I get it. If I really want to know his age, I'll look up his Wikipedia. Jesus. Oh my God. I mean, he must be a pretty scary 39-year-old since Keely Ringo decided to run away from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so look, we're going to talk more. We're going to get into Eagles Commanders-ish, I guess, is what you could call it. Not really more of the game itself, more of the impact that the game had. We're going to get into a lot of the Week 18 stuff. Seedings are set up now. Coaches are being fired. We're going to get into that a little bit as well. But Tyler, the main topic that has been the talk of the town since yesterday, Nick Sirianni. Good Lord, I am dreading having this conversation. Nick Sirianni is under fire.
For what?
Nick Sirianni is under fire for resting his players this past weekend against the Commanders. Now, as we all know, if the Eagles won yesterday and the Bears lost, the Eagles would command the 2 seed. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they lost, and so did the Bears. And now Nick Sirianni is now the man under the light here because he is being accused of being too arrogant. Now he's being accused of playing it safe. Now, of course, I've actually Eagles. If you think Eagles Facebook is bad, Eagles Twitter is a whole new toxic environment. I am actually seeing this was a fireable offense. That is what I have been seeing all day from the Monday, as I call them, the Monday couch warriors. That's what I call these. They're the Monday couch. You sit on your couch on Monday, you listen to ESPN, you buy into their crap, and then you start tweeting. That's what I see. A fireable offense was done yesterday, according to most people. So, Tyler, I'm going to let you go. Did Nick Sirianni make the right decision to rest his players yesterday? Yes or no?
I just want to start by saying I didn't even know this was a discussion to be had.
Oh, it's a big discussion, apparently.
You can't be. You look at the outcome of that game from yesterday, right? 24-7. You lose by one possession. And toward the end of that game could have gone either way. Little things that happened could have easily went in the Eagles' favor. So let's just say, for argument's sake, let's flip the score 27-17, the Eagles win. Then we're not having this conversation. Then Sirianni looks like a genius who bet on his backups to go in and get the win against a battered Commanders team. This was never a Commanders team that posed a threat. The biggest threat that could have came out of this game was if we lost starters before the playoffs. He made the right call. If the score was like 24-3, and then you look at how the Bears lost and like, okay, then I would give you somewhat of an argument. Maybe they should have played the starters. It was a winnable game without the starters. They were definitely spread thin. They didn't have the depth on the defensive line. Those boys were tired. Poor Jordan Davis.
Yeah, Davis and Njoku had to play because they're so light on the defensive line.
Yeah. And, it got toward the end of the game. They couldn't hold up. Definitely the Eagles defense has a lot of talented players. Vic Fangio is great, but they got a lot of talent on that defense. And seeing him spread thin with the backups, it's not the same. You can't just give him any defense and it'll be great. But I don't even want to get into any sort of the Nick Sirianni messed up, made the wrong call discussion because it's just ridiculous. Essentially, the game was backups versus backups and some starters.
It was backups versus whatever Washington had left.
Basically, whatever they had left. So, you get a couple of starters thrown in there and then a lot of backups. Like I said, it was a winnable game. Few things didn't go the right way that could have changed the outcome of the game. It is what it is. No, we're not going to have two playoff games hosted now, but we'll still have one. And honestly, with how well that this team has played on the road this year, I'm fine with going into anywhere and having to get the win.
First of all, let's look at some of the situations here, okay? For all the people that are complaining, we could have had the 2 seed. The 2 seed matters so much. How'd the 1 seed treat the Lions last year? I'm serious.
I don't think the Lions had a shot either way.
That doesn't. But that's the point, though. if you could be the number one seed, have home field. But what was the Lions' problem last year? Their team was completely battered and depleted. It doesn't matter if you have home field. Anybody can beat anybody any given day. Do you really think an unproven Caleb Williams is a shoo-in to beat the Packers this weekend?
No.
If the
Those have
Packers
been
go
close games in their 2 meetings this year.
Because the Packers literally beat them the first time, and then the second time almost lost. They literally had to come back against Malik Willis. If the Packers go on to beat the Bears, then guess what, crybabies? You still get the freaking second home playoff game. Which, by the way, everyone's complaining. Oh, we want the second home playoff game. You kind of got to win the first one. So why don't you focus on right there right now, because you got a pretty solid opponent coming in this weekend. Don't let the national narrative, don't let sports talk radio in Philly fool you. That Niners team is a tough group of SOBs. I don't care who's there and who's not there. They are a tough group.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear none of that coming into this. I don't want to hear shoo-ins. There ain't nothing shooing about this. We'll get to that on the Friday Night Gridiron picks, though, on Friday. We're not going to get into that now. But here's the problem that people are not understanding. This is a football team that played the most football outside of the Chiefs last season. Every other team had a longer offseason than the Philadelphia Eagles. Two of your offensive linemen can barely walk at this point. Cam Jurgens, first of all, I've never seen a normal person recover 100% within a year of back surgery, better alone a 300-pound offensive lineman who's getting worried about getting hit by other 300-pound men. Cam Jurgens has not been the same player this year, clearly. His back's been bothering him, clearly. His knee is messed up. Landon Dickerson's been in and out of each. I feel like each game he's limping off the field at least once.
Yep.
Lane Johnson, we haven't seen Lane Johnson in almost 2 months. We don't know what he's going to be like. I've never seen a player come back with any type of Liz Frank injury. I don't know what we're going to see.
Yeah. I mean, the one person you put faith in is Lane. He's tough.
I'm not going to say Lane Johnson's going to come out there and look like freaking the next coming of Big V. Shout out Big V. I'm not saying that Lane's going to come out here and look like Jason Peters at the last year of his career. I'm not saying that. But he hasn't played football in 2 months. It's hard to just turn that switch and just come back from that. But outside of Lane, because Lane's fresh, the other four, and I'm going to take Tyler Steen out but even Tyler Steen, remember, his knee was hyperextended against the Bucs. We don't know how long that lasted. It took a toll on him.
Yeah,
and Mailata hasn't played
the same lackluster football the whole season. So,
well, I'm just saying, all these guys that seem have been banged up at some point. They played the most football in the NFL last year outside of the Chiefs, and look at the toll it took on the Chiefs. You should be grateful that your head coach, which, by the way, everybody that if you are literally saying yesterday was a fireable offense, you are the fans that deserve the Chip Kelly years. You deserve to watch the Chip Kelly years. You don't deserve this era of Eagles football. It's people like you who want to fire a Super Bowl winning head coach because he did something you don't like. Which, by the way, the last 2 times he's rested players, we've got to the damn Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's the case this year, but I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt to do what's right for his football team.
And this was a bad Washington team. That's a big factor too. If the Commanders were in a position of them winning a wild card game, the Eagles would have had their starters out there. And then we don't even have this conversation.
I don't even know why we're having the conversation now.
Yeah, I don't like it. Shouldn't have to.
And you know what? Look, I'm gonna go ahead.
No, it's ridiculous.
And look, I'm gonna quote my good buddy Tom Arnone from HUD Radio. I watched him last night, and he has said everything that's spot on about this because of the people. Because clearly, people are afraid. Clearly, people are afraid to go on the road. How are you afraid to go on the road with that group on the defensive side of the football? Now, the offensive side, we can get to that in a second because I'm not.
Yeah, but
we'll get to them in a second.
To your
but if
point,
this offense,
you're afraid to go on the road against a team that went into Buffalo and held them to 12 points the entire game. One of the most high-scoring offenses in the league, consistently.
You went on the road in hot 109-degree Tampa when they were healthy and playing good and beat them. You went on the road in Arrowhead week 2 against a healthy Chiefs team. Beat them. And let me get my quote out, like Tom said on H2D. I watch him I try to watch him consistently every Sunday night because he's spot on with everything. If you're afraid to go play a playoff game on the road, go buy a dog. Go get a nice big pit bull, sit it next to your couch, cuddle up in a blanket, watch the game in a dark room. If that's how afraid you are, I will take Vic Fangio in that unit and I'll go play anywhere. I'll go play in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I'll go anywhere. I'll go to LA. I will take my bets against Caleb Williams against Vic Fangio's defense in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a damn what happened on. Wow, a Black Friday regular season game on a short week for the Eagles. Congratulations. With a Jalen Carter who could barely do a push-up that week. I ain't afraid to go nowhere. So for all these people, I understand that seeding is important, but I get it. But anything can happen in the NFL. It proved last year. We were all so afraid, like, oh my God, we may have to go to Detroit. Well, guess what? Detroit didn't take care of their business.
Nope.
Remember all the freaking people that, Pat Mahomes, he's got to go to Buffalo. That didn't matter. Oh, he had to go to Baltimore. What does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
If you have the group that could take care of business, you take care of business. And I will confidently say this, Tyler. If this team can figure a way to score 20 points a game in the playoffs, which asking Kevin Batula to get 20 points in a playoff game may be asking...
You better tell him to come out in that first half swinging, because if his offense scores 21 in the first half, that's all they're scoring the whole game.
But that's the point, though. If they get to that point, do you think this defense is giving up that much back?
No.
This unit could single-handedly look. If you got a 2015 Bronco, are you upset?
No.
Like if you go back to, like,
every season is different. Got to find a way to win.
I'm not saying that we're going back to back. I am not that arrogant to do that. I'm not arrogant enough. I'm respectful of the
NFC.
NFC
Conference championship game. That's the goal.
Yeah,
be back in it.
And I'm not arrogant enough to just say, "Oh, my team's better than everybody," because the NFC. I mean, we got 5 seeds that got more wins than the division winners. It's a freaking. This whole thing is a joke.
Yeah.
The seeding in the NFL playoffs is a joke, but we'll get to that another day. But for people to say, "Oh, this is him being arrogant," so he's not supposed to be confident in his football team, a football team that he has guided to 2 to 5 straight postseasons, a team that he has won 11 or more games 4 straight years. A team that he has guided to be back-to-back NFC East champions for the first time in 20 years. A team he has guided to 2 NFC championship games, 2 Super Bowls, and a Super Bowl championship. He's not being arrogant. He's being confident in the group that he has. So, what is the problem here? This team played the most football in the NFC last year. All these other teams have had the opportunity to rest up and gun for the Eagles this entire year, which, by the way, the Eagles have the big target on their backs. They're still the reigning defending Super Bowl champions.
They are.
Not to mention the gauntlet of a schedule. I think we both were right around this point, too. We said, I think we were both around that 12-5, 11-6 mark.
We were. I was about 11, 12 wins. I might have been generous and gave them 13, but I don't recall. It was probably closer to 12.
There's a couple games that could have went either way. The Bears game could have been different. And guess what? Didn't happen.
Dropping one to the Giants, didn't see that happening.
Did I see Jalen Hurts throwing 4 picks on Monday Night Football? Absolutely not. You were in a position to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just read this tweet real quick. This is from Jeff Carr yesterday. Jeff Carr, very good Eagles guy on Twitter. Eagles finished the year 11-6 after becoming the first defending Super Bowl champion in NFL history not to play consecutive home games in a season.
Oh, I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Imagine that. The reigning Super Bowl champions, and you don't get to have one back-to-back home game, but you had a few back-to-back road games.
This is going to be the first back-to-back home games we've had all season. We had to wait to the postseason.
Yeah, and that's another reason why you shouldn't care that they have to go and play on the road. They felt like they've been playing on the road the whole damn season.
And they've adjusted well to it.
Yeah.
There's more to this. They also were the first team to win the NFC East, of course, consecutive seasons since 01-04, which was the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles were also listen, this is the best one. No, actually, I'm going to keep that one for last. They went 3-3 against playoff teams this year, 2-1 against the NFC, 5-3 against teams that finished with a winning record. Okay. The Eagles were the only repeat division winner this year. And Tyler, look, we've been fans our whole lives. How many years between the Chip Kellys, even Doug Peterson, that Bills game where you win that game in the final seconds, the Bucks game where your defense was in the hot sun all day, just cooking, and how many close games has this organization lost over the past decade?
Not many close ones.
How many games, when it came down to one possession, has this team lost over the past decade? Before Nick Sirianni got here.
Number on it? Oh, before Sirianni got here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to. My mistake. I'm trying to pair with that, but
let's say 15.
At least they don't win. They haven't won these games before the way they win now, and the fact that people just don't give a coach the benefit of the doubt to let him do what he thinks is best for his football team. Guys that he has been around for 4 or 5 years now. Most of the core guys, he's been around here at least 4 or 5 years. For him not to get the benefit of that doubt, to prioritize the health of his players who clearly needed rest. Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson are the two I'm going to keep going to. They needed rest. A.J. Brown had a bunch of soft tissue issues so far this year. What's up, Mikey?
What's up, Mikey?
Sorry, y'all.
Mikey wants the Eagles-Jags Super Bowl. I would
love that.
I wonder if Doug Peterson will be in attendance.
The Dougie P Bowl?
We got Georgie in here. What's up, George? Seattle Jags.
What's up, Georgie? I wouldn't hate that either. I like a little difference. All right, Bruiser so far has comment of the night.
Comment of the night.
Oh, Bruiser. They're rolling out of the freaking playoff.
The wrong way. Yep. What's going on, Dalton?
What's up, Dalton? But that's my point. I'm glad Dalton's in the chat to hear this. I understand the frustration with yesterday. But with this defense, that's allowed 14 points a game since Jalen Phillips got here. By the way, look at all the guys that weren't going to play regardless. Jalen Carter popped up on the injury report with a hip injury this week. Dallas Goedert, he popped up on the report with a knee injury. Let's just look at yesterday. Grant Calcaterra got hip drop tackled by Bobby Wagner. That could have been Dallas Goedert yesterday. Brett Toth got a concussion in this game. That could have been Landon Dickerson. Brandon Johnson, who was playing safety in this game. Messed up his ankle, could barely walk off the field. That could have been Reed Blankenship. And must I bring up what happened when we played the starters in 2023? When A.J. Brown messed his knee up against the Giants and couldn't play in Tampa Bay the following week, and we had no offense because of it?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that game was meaningless, but this is the point I'm saying. With this defense, if this offense could just show me an inkling of consistency, I don't need 3 to 5 touchdowns a game. Give me 2 touchdowns, couple field goals. Give me 20 to 23 points a game, and I am going to predict that this team will be back in the NFC title game because Vic Fangio is going to figure this out. There is no quarterback in the NFC that Vic can't figure out.
If you want a prediction out of me, I say if they can score 24 points in each game, they win each game.
Yes, but I don't see them giving up more than freaking 14 to 18.
I say 20 max.
If that.
But yeah, I mean, that's just how great the defense has played since like the last, 2 months?
Ever since that Bears game, I feel like Vic Fangio walked in the locker room with his unit only and said to them, this will never happen again. And then that following week, Jalen Carter goes down. He's out for almost 3 weeks. And the defense since then has turned it up a freaking notch, which, by the way, I think after yesterday, Dalton included, I think we all have a more appreciation for Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Adoree Jackson after watching that crap yesterday, because that's another thing. We have been one of the healthier teams in the NFL over the past 5 years. And that is a lot of it because Nick values his players over a seed. He wants them to be healthy or as healthy as possible heading into the freaking postseason. Could you imagine? I understand anybody can get hurt at any time in the NFL. I get that. But could you imagine if fighting for the 2 seed, one of those 3 gets banged up and you have to watch Jacorian Bennett go against an NFL freaking playoff team? Could you imagine what that would look like with Keely Ringo or Jacorian Bennett or Michael Carter, for that instance, having to go play meaningful snaps?
Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Well, actually, no, let's rephrase. We saw how that went already. You know, Jalen Hurts clutch touchdown against the Rams earlier this year. And what happened? Matthew Stafford walked Jacorian Bennett right down the field. What was it, 5 straight possessions they went to Puka that they converted on?
Yep. He was like,
if Jordan Davis,
dog.
The MVP of that game was not Jordan Davis. It was the Peloton that Jordan Davis hit in the offseason that got it to be that slim. That was the MVP of that game. Like I said, I understand the frustration. I understand the 2 seed is important to a lot of people. I get that. But the health of this team, and I know people are continue to say, oh, you know, again, oh, they played him in 2023. Yeah, look what happened. Oh, that game was meaningless. Yeah, and it was stupid to do it then. He's learned from that. Because I remember the same people and the people who I'm calling out. I'm not going to go out name calling because you know who you are.
I bet it was a fireable offense back when those players got hurt too.
We thought he was going to get fired because of that. Remember? We thought it was going to happen. I think you and I may have said, what are you playing, AJ? Because here's the thing, right? I remember why they did it back then. They did it back then because they were trying to get the offense right. And newsflash for the people, the same thing for this year. The offense hasn't been fixed in 18 weeks. It ain't going to change now.
The last week of the season's not going to fix it.
No, you can't. If you can't fix it within the first month, you're not fixing it. We are what we are offensively. But again, I'm not defending Kevin Patullo. But if that rest proves to be the big key for the offensive line to get back to what they kind of were last year, it is impossibly difficult to replicate what they did last year. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, Sam, and trust me, I share the same hopes and ambitions. It's very unrealistic.
No. I have zero hope for Kevin Patullo. I have zero hope.
Oh yeah, I know. No, but I know where you're going with the offensive line. If they could somehow right this wrong at this late into the season, they would easily roll to the Super Bowl.
Because even, let's be real here, I hate saying it. People say, oh, Brian Johnson looked better as an OC than Kevin Patullo. Some of that may be true. Brian Johnson's team was able to run the football consistently that year. We made DeAndre Swift a Pro Bowler that year.
Mm-hmm.
I am in no way, shape, or form saying that Kevin Patullo has earned his job back next year, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be that guy. I've told you all, I don't like Kevin Patullo. I think some of you have gone a little far with some of the critiques of him, but still, again, it's not about if Kevin Patullo long-term is a good OC or not. The problem is the Eagles don't have the timetable to develop an OC because we expect to be an NFC title contender year in and year out, and we are impatient. I get it. But let's be real about something. I'm not defending him, but let's be realistic about something. Regardless of what the inefficiencies with this offense are, there are still numbers that prove that they did accomplish some pretty nice things this year. We still had 2,000-yard receivers. Yeah. Didn't have that under Kellen last year. Dallas Goedert had the best year of his career. Yes, contract year, but still. Jalen Hurts has eclipsed a career high in passing touchdowns. Not to mention, we are the number one red zone offense in the NFL. Something that we have struggled with under Nick for years. So I'm not saying that Kevin Patullo deserves. Now, everything in the middle, we're terrible at. I'll say that as much without. All I've said is that if Kevin Patullo gets fired, then we're going to have to go with veteran OCs year in and year out. And you're going to continue to put Jalen Hurts through this cycle. Or maybe just once, we can all sit down, shut up, and maybe try to give a guy a second year. I'm not saying that it should be this time, but eventually this carousel's got to stop. Because you have a head coach that doesn't call plays. He doesn't want to call plays. He has said it himself. They're not going to do it. So I don't even know what options there would be out there this offseason, unless you want to promote your quarterbacks coach, Scott Loeffler, from within. I mean, he does have play calling experience. He was a head coach at Bowling Green in college football, and we saw what he did with Harold Fanning Jr. We went and saw that firsthand eye test. Penn State was supposed to have one of the best defenses in the country, and look what happened.
I'm with Dalton there.
Oh, they get first down. No, forget everything I said.
Or even if they get an ugly win in the first round and the defense clearly wins the game, and then they offense looks terrible in that next round, I still could see him getting bounced.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Now look, what have I always said? You have to look at both things subjectively. What if they lose the game? If this happens, and I'm going to drink, I'm going to go outside and drink rainwater.
I don't even want you to say it.
What if they lose the game 35-31?
Damn.
You got to look at it that way.
Then he makes a pretty good case for himself. All right, now are we talking like he scored 28 in the first half and 3 in the second half? Is that where? Because if we're talking about that, I think he's still got to go. I think he's still got to go at that point.
I am very scared that Robert Saleh is going to pants Kevin Patullo on Sunday. Trust me, I am very nervous. But
I need 2 halves of football, offensively. Defensively, you get all 4 quarters.
Yeah, hold on. Do I expect the 49ers offense without that? What I saw against Seattle, expecting them to put a 30 on my defense? Hell no.
No.
I'm just saying, you have to look at it. And look, Dalton's flying with these comments. And like I said, I understand the frustration with Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo couldn't coach the 11 greatest offensive players in the NFL. I expect them to move on from Kevin Patullo because, again, Jeffrey Lurie is now going to sit down with Nick and look at the body of work and saying, look, I've given you 2 chances. You've had 2 of your own OCs, and then we picked the other 2. Because I don't care. Well, okay, Nick did pick Shane Steichen, but that's a whole nother story. But look what happened when we gave you an OC, and then, because look, again, you can tell me this until you're blue in the face. Nick Sirianni did not hire Kellen Moore. I don't care what you say. I don't care what interview or PR stunt they try. He did not hire Kellen Moore. Look what he did, and then look what the 2 jamopes in between did. We're just not built to do this. We're not. Now, for some reason, Nick gets guys hired to be head coaches. He's got a coaching trait. I mean, heck, he got Kellen Moore a head coaching job faster than Dallas ever did. He was in Dallas for like 7, it felt like forever.
Yeah. And he somehow got Jonathan Gannon a job.
That's Snake. Don't get me started with that rap Snake. That's Shane Steichen a head coaching job. Which, by the way, shout out to the Colts. I'm glad they held on to it.
Oh, yeah. Come on. So many injuries. Your team was rolling when they were healthy. It's not on the coach. You can't fire him.
Now, see, Dalton brings up a great point here. If they do somehow go back-to-back, how do you fire the OC?
Not even winning. If they make it back, it's still a successful season compared to 30 other NFL football teams. So even if they make it there, they still bring it back. I see it. I'll even go as far as saying if they even just make the conference championship, Kevin Patullo will be back. Is that my ideal pick? No. Did he have a full season of coaching the team? Yes, he did. And running the offense? Yeah, he did. So at that point, congratulations. You earned yourself another year. Don't let us down a year or 2.
They go. Look, if he gets another year and this crap continues, then he's done. But at some point, we got to, like what Dalton's saying, we can't just boot every single person when stuff happens. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no issue with how they approached the defensive coordinator after 2023. Sean Desai was absolutely god-awful.
I mean, he essentially lost his job before the season ended.
No, he never lost his job. He just moved up to the press.
No. There's differences. You have Vic Fangio, who dominates from the press box, and then you get Sean Desai, who gets relegated to the press box.
Every time I watch, shout out to that Bears and Lions game. I watched Kevin Byard get a big interception. I watched Devontae Maddox get an interception. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Every time I watch Kevin Byard, I just can't stand Sean Desai a little more. Because Kevin Byard was not bad in Philly. He was just coached terribly.
No. He came into an already bad situation.
But again, like I said, dude, CJ came back last year and it was all Cinderella. Yep. Well, like for the people out there that are literally calling for the head coach to be fired over a decision that he thought was right for his football team, prioritizing a team that has been banged up for weeks, banged up for months, played the most football in the NFC last year. I know some of you think that, okay, perfect example, right? I was just off for the past week. I had a nice week's vacation. I didn't have to step on a fuel cord for a week. My feet felt great. I went right back to work today. My feet are killing me again. I know it's easy for the everyday people to go to work. Oh man, I'm just physically a little sore today. All right, my day off tomorrow. I know it's easy to heal up for the next day. Not when you're an athlete getting hit by other 300-pound dudes every day. They played the most football in the NFC last year. And look at teams this year. The Chiefs played the most in the AFC. The Chiefs have played the most football over the past 5 years, more than anybody. And it's finally physically taking its toll on them physically. Look what it did to them this year. All the guys that they have banged up. Look at the Commanders, how old they are. It physically took a toll on them this year. Be grateful that you have a head coach that prioritizes the health of his players. And we're calling this an arrogance? They're calling this arrogant of him? Oh, so he's not supposed to say, all right, Nick. So Nick has to come out and say, I don't trust my team on the road. We can't win road games. That's what he has to come out and say. This is why what happened in Buffalo when he's walking up the tunnel and he's all confident and AJ people said AJ looked at him weird. Whatever. At this point, I'm over that too. But this is why when Nick gets confident and wins a big game and he says something to the camera, he has earned the right to, because it doesn't matter. He could breathe in the wrong direction and ESPN will have a report on it. It doesn't matter. I will back him as my head coach any day. Is he the perfect head coach? No. Does he say some crazy things? Yes. Does he act some certain way? Yes. The guy cares about his players.
And he wins.
And he does that a lot too. He wins a lot. Remember when Doug Peterson, why do you think the Eagles never got back to even close to the Super Bowl with Doug? Because they said Doug rode them hard in practice. And then it ended up getting guys were getting hurt. I mean, God, 2019, I felt like the whole team was hurt.
Oh, yeah. It was bad.
We had to win the NFC with throwing passes to Joshua Perkins and Robert Davis. Do you know how embarrassed I am that I can remember those names?
I don't remember Robert Davis.
You remember JJ?
Ortega Blindside? Mm-hmm.
We're throwing passes to him against Dallas to win the NFC East. And we're upset that this guy takes care of his players and wants them to be healthy for the long run?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? And then the people want to bring up, oh, well, Nick's 0-2 in the postseason on the road. Okay, let's realistically look at the two road playoff games he's played. In 2021, his first year here with Jalen's first year as a starter, they went up against the Tom Brady Buccaneers. We had no business being a playoff team that year.
Mm-hmm. We were still watering the plants that year.
Our wide receiver 2 was Jalen Reagor. Okay, you know what?
The TCU great.
That's an insult to TCU. You watch your mouth.
You know what? You're kind of right. That is.
I'm going to bring up that Eagles starting group on both sides of the football.
Oh, you just like to relive bad memories.
Here are the Eagles starters for that year. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Jalen Reagor, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert.
Quez.
Oh, yeah, don't get me. He was our second leading receiver that year at 647 yards.
Shame.
Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Jack Driscoll, and Lane Johnson. Defensively, which by the way, we could not get to the quarterback at all that year. Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, Jannard Avery, TJ Edwards, Alex Singleton, Steven Nelson, Darius Slay. Do you want to even guess who the safeties were?
Did we still have McLeod?
Yes, well, good. What a guess. That was his last year here.
And do we have Jalen Mills back at safety?
No, Jalen was gone.
Oh, no,
that was 2019.
Jeez, who else do we have? Jeez, seems like we've had Reed forever now, but it's not.
Well, Reed was an undrafted rookie the following year, but he wasn't starting in 2022. That's when we had CJ and Marcus Epps.
Is that who it was?
No,
you said no, CJ and Epps. Wait, so I don't know who else played next to McLeod.
Anthony Harris.
Oh yeah, good luck. I was never guessing that. Anthony Harris.
And they went up to Tampa Bay and played Tom Brady and the Bucs. That's the one playoff game on the road we're basing this off of?
Yeah.
Oh, and then, so let's go one further. Oh, they lost to Tampa in the 2023 playoffs on the road. Yeah, they did. And guess what? The offense couldn't get a consistent roll going. Why? Who didn't play in that game? Because who got hurt in week 8, 17, 18, whatever? Who got hurt the last week of the season? I will go on the road anytime, anywhere, any opponent, and I will play anybody.
Yeah. And here's the thing on why The 2 seed really wasn't that important. You have a Chicago team that is not invincible. They're prone to losing their first game. And if they do, and the Eagles win, then boom, you get your second home playoff team. It's not like it's impossible for you to still host a second playoff game. Because you even saw it last year. You brought it up earlier. The Lions were supposed to have home field advantage through the entire playoffs. Oh, wait, they lost before the conference championship game. So where did the conference championship game come to? Through Philly.
Be real with me. Do you really think that I'm afraid to go to Chicago and play the Bears?
No.
And then Ben Johnson had his cute little presser yesterday where he said, "Oh, we don't rest players here. We play football." And I bet you guys wish you rested players in Detroit last year. That's why you got bounced in the freaking divisional round. But again,
hold on.
I have no
rest
issue
anyone they lost. So
well, they couldn't rest anybody. They had nobody left. But that's my point, though. It's not the point of who won, who lost. Detroit was the best team in the NFC last year throughout the regular season. No matter how good we knew we were last year, national media attention, Detroit was the best team in the NFL last year. They got bounced on their home field by a freaking rookie quarterback, who we, by the way, the next week dropped a 50 dime on.
Yep.
I don't care. Seeding doesn't matter because anybody can win at any time. Did the Rams not just lose to the freaking Panthers on the road a few weeks ago?
Yeah. What's up, Zolt?
Oh, what's up, Zolt? Zolt's coming and firing.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I don't understand what the problem is with this. Like, he rested his players. I'm going to continue to harp this. They played the most football in the NFC last year. Again, I'm saying it for the 5th time in this opening segment, which has taken 47 minutes to talk about. The fact that I've had to waste my breath, and I have no issue with people being upset with Nick for doing it, but to call this a fireable offense, you deserve Chip Kelly. You deserve the years after Super Bowl 52 with Doug Peterson, the 9-win seasons. We deserve it. Those are the fans that deserve those days because you can't accept what this coach does. It doesn't matter what he does. You're never going to like him, and that's fine. Oh, you don't like having a top offense? No, I do. I enjoy having a top offense. I enjoy having a top defense. But you know what else I really enjoy? I enjoy winning football games, and I enjoy winning football games at the highest freaking level, which this head coach does. He's got the highest winning percentage of any coach to start his career. The guy gets to the NFC title game in the Super Bowl almost every year. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He took down a dynasty in the Kansas City Chiefs, which after this year, that proves to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And they're winning 11 games consistently. They are winning 11-plus games a year, are getting to NFC title games and the postseason every year. They're the only team to repeat as the division winner this year. Why are you upset? And for all those people, we want a second home playoff game. Well, you got to get through the first one to get to a second one. Because guess what? I'm not going to be that guy. San Francisco has no shot. Have you seen what Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh have done this year? Don't tell me they don't have a shot.
Christian McCaffrey. That's all.
Yes.
He can single-handedly decimate a team.
He's done it his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
So for all those people that are just like outraged over this whole thing, like, dude, who cares? I will go on the road and I will play whoever, whenever, whatever. It's only Monday. Remember, I still have all day tomorrow. Yeah, like trust me, Nick's done some questionable things. This is what he's been known for.
Yeah.
He rested his players for the past. In the 5 years he's been here, he's rested starters 4 out of the 5 years. 2021, yes, we went to Tampa, got boat race. We're playing Tom Brady. That, of course, was going to happen. 2022, they rested players. That turned out pretty good last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we rested players. That turned out great. And then 2023, how'd that work out for you? But I got to remember something. There are people that cared more about a rushing record last year than there was at a chance at a Super Bowl. I got to remember that. This fan base cares more about rushing records than they do about Super Bowls.
Bigger picture.
Now, let me ask you that part real quick before we segue out of this. What are your thoughts on, okay, we didn't let Saquon do that, but yet they let Devontae get his 1K yesterday. What are your thoughts on that?
What I'll say is that Devontae Smith has been much healthier in his career. This is a Saquon Barkley who has had some significant injuries. There was no point in risking that because getting that rushing record, that's a lot more of a physical game that you're playing than a wide receiver. I get it, wide receivers, they can get hit, they can take some shots. Be honest with me. Not half as physical as a running back. And that's why. It was the safer option. And you saw the second he got it, boom. Off the field. Put the jacket on him. Good job. Take a seat.
And again, if you look at this, oh, by the way, linebacker for the 49ers, Tatum Bertram, is out for the season with a groin injury.
Yep.
So another hit to that Niners defense.
Another McCaffrey sacrifice.
But, again, here's the thing with Devontae Smith and his 1,000 yards, right? He needed 44 yards. I could throw four straight 11-yard outs, and there it is. Saquon Barkley last year needed 100 rushing yards.
That's literally, you got to play him the whole game.
And hold on. If you want to win the rushing title, who else has to play? All 5 of the offensive linemen have to play. That's the biggest thing. I'm going to say, I want to end this segment but there's just so much information that people refuse to take in. Do you understand that the reason this team has been as successful as it's been under Nick for these 5 years is because of how great of a rushing attack they've had with Miles Sanders? Can't believe I'm saying that. With DeAndre Swift, with Saquon Barkley. You are seeing now this year what the offensive line not in 100% does. It kills the offense. Again, I understand that it's easy to say, oh, they were better with Steichen. The passing offense has never been the cream of the crop with Nick Sirianni, and we've known that forever. Georgie, we're battling through it right now. Let's just say that. I got the lamp on the dresser over there. I got a little bit of light. But the passing offense has never been Nick Sirianni's cream of the crop. They've always just been a dominant run game. And that's why they've been able to win so many games over the past 5 years. They run the football so much that the defense usually doesn't have to be on the field too much. This year, it's been a different story because the run game hasn't been consistent, because the 5 fat Nimrods on the freaking line haven't played well this year. I'm not saying Kevin Batula will look perfect as an OC this year. I think he'd be a little better if his offensive line consistently blocked all year. Which, by the way, I find it also funny that I mentioned an injured 49er, and look who appears.
Say his name and he appears.
Yeah, honestly, George is turning into Joe Hendry of this show. But, do you understand what I mean? Our passing offense, regardless of how good AJ and Devontae have been over the past 5 years, which, by the way, best wide receiver duo in Eagles history. They have taken over whoever else you had. Real funny, George. But no, I have no issue with what they did with the starters yesterday. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata, they needed that rest. A.J. Brown hasn't been healthy this year. He's been dinged up too. How many times has that hamstring bothered him this year? He missed a game. Didn't he miss the second Giants game because of that?
Yeah, he missed a game earlier in the year too.
He got hurt in the Vikings game, remember? Because we said, wow, he went down weird. Like, he just dropped down. He didn't seem hurt, but I was like, wow, he went down really, like, on A.J. Brown-like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's went down way easy. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. But, again, it is what it is. You're the 3 seed, and you got to worry about the first one before you worry about the second one. For all the people out there like, oh, we ain't get a second playoff game at home. You ain't going to get a second one if you don't win the first one. Because regardless of how banged up the Packers are, and now let's segue out of the Eagles now. We've been on there for almost an hour. Let's segue into it. The Packers, see, at least with us, we're playing the 49ers. The Niners haven't seen us this year. Now, we haven't seen them either. The Packers and Bears have played twice in the past month, and now we're going for the rubber match.
Mm-hmm.
Divisional opponent playoff games usually don't fare out too well in the end because you're playing a team for a third time. Look, we beat the Commanders the first time. They beat us. Yeah, granted, Kenny Pickett played. I understand that, but they still beat us. They handed us our only loss in that stretch last year. But then guess what happened? We were like, okay, they do this well, and this well. They don't do this well. Watch this. Boom, blew the doors off them in the NFC title game. It is not guaranteed the Bears win this game.
It's not.
Playing a divisional opponent for a third time, especially a third time in a span of what, 6 weeks?
Yep.
That's tough. Even without Micah Parsons, I think the Packers have a chance.
They do. And they only lost by 6 points. You're a touchdown away with a backup quarterback. Because that offense, it is not the same. You can argue that, he played decent, he played well. It's not the same as when Jordan Love's out there.
Now Malik Willis does add a little bit of more from a mobility aspect, but he's not Jordan Love in the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think it does much for their offensive scheme though. The extra mobility.
I don't disagree with that. George, I'm not confidently going to say you're winning or we're winning. This is going to be a battle of Robert Saleh versus Vic Fangio, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'll be a defense battle for sure. I don't see anybody getting out of the teens.
No. And it's like, and now George brings up the Rams. Are you even as afraid of the Rams as you thought you'd be?
Yes and no. Definitely, we've seen the Rams can still win games and be a force without Devontae Adams. But when he's on the field next to Puka Nacua, there's a problem. They're dangerous.
That is the one matchup I'm still concerned with Adoree Jackson. To no fault of his own. It's just one does not cover.
He's still one of the better route runners in the NFL. Probably at least top 10.
One does not cover Puka Nacua one-on-one.
Oh, no.
Nor does one cover Devontae Adams one-on-one either. Yeah. All right, so Love has cleared the protocol, George said, so that's big. Yeah, he would have, but now see, they're another one. They're locked into their seed, so they rested players. Yeah, they're a team that desperately needs it too. Well, Matt LaFleur looks like a genius, though, right?
Oh, you mean
LaFleur's a genius for resting his.
Oh no, you do mean LaFleur? Yeah, he's a genius.
LaFleur's a genius.
I mean, Ben Johnson doesn't look too smart. I mean, they played their starters and they lost against a team that was already eliminated from the playoffs. So, all right.
Exactly.
All right.
Like I said, I know Nick is not perfect, but It wasn't the wrong decision. They needed to get some rest because guess what? That's why they did it last year, because they said, okay, if this is how people look at it, like, oh, Nick was a coward. He didn't want the 2 seed. No, but here's what Nick looked at. My guys have not had a break since week 9. I am the 2 or 3 seed. I'm not getting a first round bye to give them rest. I have to create a mini bye week for some of these guys so I can get them rest, because to get to the Super Bowl again, we're going to have to run the gauntlet again. We're going to have to play all 4 rounds like last year.
Yep.
He prioritized that with rest last year, and he's prioritized it again this year. So for all these idiots out there that want to say, oh, well, this is a horrible offense, are you kidding me right now? Do you want to be the Arizona Cardinals?
It seems like it.
My God, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing with this fan? This fan base is, I could say it, most of this fan base are actually like not very intelligent when it comes to football. I've forgotten more football than some of them will ever remember. My goodness.
There's another game I wanted to talk about.
Shoot, let's do it.
Tampa Bay, Carolina. Now,
So, technically, in technical terms, I was right about this weekend, because I did say that the Panthers would win the division
you did.
and that the Seahawks would win the 1 seed. So, in technical terms, I was right.
As sad of a game that the Panthers played, where they only rushed for, ready for this, 19 yards in pouring down rain in Tampa. They only ran for 20 yards.
I mean, it's hard to get your footing in a soaking wet field.
But it's also hard to throw and catch in a soaking field, too.
By the way, the PI they called on Ted McMillan in that game, atrocious. What are we doing?
Terrible.
What are we doing? But, look, again, that's the second time those teams have played in 3 weeks. These teams are going to play each other tough because they've just played each other. The Bucs know that the Panthers rely on the run, and they were going to set out their mission was to not let them do it, and they did. So the Bucs did all they could. All I would say is, here's a word of advice. Don't lose 6 of your final 7 games and put your fate in the hands of somebody else.
Yep.
I mean, the Bucs had a terrible second half of the season. They were 6-2, and look what happened.
He caught up.
He won 2 games the rest of the way, and then you put your fate in the Saints? Yeah, that's not getting you far. But no, yeah, I understand where you're going with this Panthers running attack, and it didn't perform. But the Bucs aren't a bad team. I mean, they still have a solid defensive line. I mean, they still got Vita Vea, and that unit's still pretty solid.
They do, but I just thought that was shocking with how well Rico Dowdle's been running the football for them this year. The presence that Chuba Hubbard still has. But definitely the glaring reason why they lost the game is they lost the battle in the trenches.
I mean, only 12 carries between both of them. All right, now that's like if one of them has like 18 carries for 10 yards. Okay, I understand it now, but to have only 7 carries for Rico and 5 for what are we doing here, Dave? Dave, what are we doing over there?
Mm-hmm.
Like Buck Chiarvi carried the ball 26 times in that game. Yeah, what are we doing here?
Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got the Giants ruining their chances at a higher draft pick.
Well, let's keep the GM.
Yeah, we'll keep the GM though. He coached them to that win. You didn't hear?
Good old Joe Shane. Listen, as long as Joe Shane and Jerry Jones are running the Giants and Cowboys, this division is going to be the Eagles for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, it's a lock.
The Commanders have the best shot at navigating through to get to us.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
shall we go into the history breaking moment?
Yeah, let's talk about it because they managed to steal the win too.
Myles Garrett got a sack. Wonder if Strahan's going to come and get it back.
Oh no.
Are you one of the Tyler? Are you? I recognize the history, or am I? Are you one of those? Oh, they play more games now, so of course the record gets broken.
How many games were in a season when it was first set?
I forget how many there were when Gastineau had it, but I have no idea.
So yeah, I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. Yes, more games are played now, but still, at the end of the day, it's a very impressive feat nonetheless. And it's not like we're going to see anybody break that soon.
Yeah, like it's not an easy thing to break. I mean, look how long it stood up for.
Exactly. Like, it took a lot of effort, a lot of talent, and a lot of greatness for him to get to that. That's multiple games where he's had to get like four sacks. I think one game he had 5 sacks. Like, it's not just like, oh, you get like 2 sacks a game. I mean, technically, if you got average 2 sacks a game, you would break the record, but that's not the point here.
Exactly. The guy literally had to have like 5 games of 3 sacks or more this year to get to it.
So, no, it was a great moment. Definitely brought it down to the last moment there. You know, he couldn't have just got it done against, I don't know, anybody. The Steelers. The Steelers tried so hard for him not to get it, they lost the game. Forgot they needed to win.
The division.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the record-breaking sack?
I did not, but I heard some controversy.
Oh, they're trying to say that Burrow gave him the gentleman's sack. No, he didn't. Garrett beat the left tackle, and Burrow went down, started to go down on his own, but it was because it was either that or get completely walloped by Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he was probably looking at it like, wow, last week of the season, let me be ready for week 1 next year.
Well, I'm sorry. You've seen the Strahan one, right? Where they say Favre laid down for him. I mean, let's be real. Michael Strahan walked into Brett Favre unblocked. What is Brett Favre supposed to do?
Yeah,
Get
right.
walloped?
Yeah. Do you want him to go truck him? But I did also see Jamar Chase's comments, the coach's comments after the game. How do you feel about that?
What did he say? I don't listen to Jamar Chase talk.
Because as the Bengals were still trying to, make something happen on that drive to get back into field goal range to win the game, they stopped the game to allow Garrett to celebrate. Like, I don't think there was no timeout, nothing. There was just a pause in the game to allow for the celebration.
I mean, I don't really know if I have a big deal with it. I mean, it happens. I mean, baseball.
They were also trying to run. According to Jamar Chase, I should say, they were trying to run hurry up after the sack to try to catch them off balance to see if they can get something back.
I don't know. I think Jamar Chase is just salty about how their season went.
Yeah.
To really, I mean, if you need a last-second drive to beat the Browns, then what's that tell me? And I mean, I really don't. And Georgie's saying it here. I don't think it was, but again, the world will never know.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into this game that Anthony's bringing up, because honestly, I'm in the same boat. He doesn't like Lamar, but like when it comes to winning big games, what do you want this guy to do?
It's not all on him.
None of yesterday was on him.
What is on him? The fact that they were still in a position to win the division. If he plays the whole year, they probably had the division win like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, he came in 11 of 18, 238, 3 touchdowns. Zay Flowers had a big game yesterday. Derrick Henry once again went absolutely freaking insane. But then Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers again.
Mm-hmm. And the Ravens defense, man, oh my God. What happened? On paper, they should be so good.
Well, I'll tell you something. Let me see if I can find where I found it the other day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. It was from Saturday, so I probably won't be able to find it. But, let's be real about something. Since Mike McDonald left for the Seahawks, that Ravens defense has not been the same.
They have not.
It's not that physically imposing defense that we're used to seeing in Baltimore. And Mike McDonald.
You're seeing a physically imposing defense in Seattle.
Seahawks defense may be that my top 3 defenses in football right now may be the Seahawks, the Texans, the Eagles, and then I have Denver right behind those 3. You can put those 4 any way you want, but that Seahawks defense, they don't take the football away a lot, but dude, they are so physically imposing on their opponents. I mean, look what they did to the Niners just put 42 points on the board against the 2-seeded Bears the week before. They couldn't get anything going against Seattle.
Yep.
And what did I say about that Seattle game from Saturday? I said if the Seahawks are just capable of somewhat running the football, they're going to win the game. Because the only way you're going to beat Seattle is if you turn them into a one-dimensional offense and make Sam Darnold beat you. And they didn't. They let Charbonnet and Walker have consistent run lanes the entire night. And Seattle's offense didn't perform great. I mean, they only scored 13 points, but the fact that
no turnovers.
No. Sam Darnold played a good game for what he was asked to do. And they were able to withstand drives and keep the football in their possession. Something San Francisco with McCaffrey is usually pretty good at, but Oh, Anthony, one of our opponents next year, yeah, I gave it a glimpse. I'll worry about that later. Oh, I knew as soon as Boswell missed the PAT, I said, yep, we're going. This is going to come down to a field goal. And then the 4th down play where Jalen Ramsey mistimes the jump and Likely finally, that's the thing. Isaiah Likely, the guy who's had the worst luck of the NFL over the past 2 years when it comes to big catches, finally gets one that could send the Ravens to the playoffs. And they shanked it.
Yep.
But honestly, man, Steelers found a way. I feel bad for the kicker for the Ravens. He's a kid. He's a rookie. I feel bad for the kid.
He'll be fine. Grow from that moment. They're not going to release him.
No.
Pretty sure they drafted him, didn't they?
I don't know.
I thought they did.
Anthony, it's good if they can. They're fine if they can run the football. If they have to turn one-dimensional, then Sam Darnold is eventually going to turn the ball over. It's just a given fact. I love Sam Darnold. He's had a great couple years, but he is still prone sometimes to turning the football over.
Yeah.
And
didn't turn the football over All they needed was 13 to win. Technically, all they needed was a touchdown to win. They held them to
Yeah.
3.
And I mean the one pass to McCaffrey that goes behind him, it goes through his hands, gets picked off.
Yeah.
That was the killer because that was the
That's
only
like
drive the
how
Niners.
often are you going to see that? McCaffrey is such a sure-handed running back. He leads their team in receiving yards. It's just something you don't expect to happen. But anything can happen.
The NFL, where anything and everything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, that game went exactly how I expected it. I expected it to be a defensive battle because both teams are division rivals. Both teams Seattle possesses a great defense this year. 49ers have a good one. I mean, it's banged up, but Robert Saleh is such a great defensive mind that we knew something. He would have some type of an answer, regardless of who does and does not play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not surprised whatsoever. Any other things we want to bring up from yesterday?
There isn't much. I mean, all the teams basically won that were supposed to win, except for Chicago.
Haha, real funny.
But no, I mean, Bills blew out the Jets. Oh, congratulations to the New York Jets. And congratulations to head coach Aaron Glenn for successfully leading his defense to 0 interceptions over the course of the whole season. Did you know that was a stat, Sam?
I did now. I thought. So wait, you're telling me that
They
a
did not
defense
intercept a single pass the entire season. That doesn't look good for any team, let alone for a new head coach that was a former defensive coordinator.
that had Sauce Gardner for the first 8 weeks.
Yeah, not a good look.
All right, now you know what I got to do. I got to Google when's the last time the Jets had an interception.
Or when is the time for the conversation of are the Jets actually just cursed?
Last Jets interception came week 18 last year by Ashton Davis.
Wow. So they actually got one to end the year last year. And then they end the year this year with none.
That's got to be the wildest stat I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's bad.
I will say one thing to this comment from Anthony. I am surprised that the Steelers were able to put up that many points on that Ravens defense without DK.
I didn't think they could do it because he is a big part of their offense.
He is their only part of their offense.
But hey, man, I mean, the Steelers, they'll get DK back for the playoffs, barring anything. They got TJ Watt back. They're a team to watch out for. I get it. They're not the hottest, flashiest team in the AFC. But don't discredit Aaron Rodgers. And definitely don't discredit their defense.
Especially when they're at home.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, since we're on the Steelers, season's over.
No, we included postseason.
No, we're not.
What?
Did we?
To be fair, it was unspecified.
Either way, you're down 486 to 222. Do you really want to keep this going?
You know what? Just for the shits and giggles, let's see how the postseason goes. Watch, they're going to be bounced. Jonnu Smith's going to be a healthy scratch from their playoff game.
You could just send it when the inactives are sent.
Oh no, man! I still blame Darnell Washington. He ruined this. Jonnu Smith would have had a bigger role in that offense if it wasn't for him.
Let me guess. Darnell took all Jonnu's yards. He didn't take any of Pat's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are we going to do this once a year? The 609 bet of the year.
Okay, if there's a good bet, sure.
I got to go one for next year, but I'm not bringing it up until after the free agency period. Anthony said Falcons won to send the Panthers to the playoffs. The next day, their head coach got fired. Well, Anthony, yeah, the Falcons won a game to get a team into the postseason. It wasn't them.
Yeah.
Look, you can't have that much talent on both sides of the ball and not perform. Their offense has not been good.
For Morris's sake, I don't know if you know this. Who wanted to draft Michael Penix? Was that front office or was that him?
I don't know, because remember, there was the famous video of the GM and Arthur Blank having that conversation in the draft room. Blank didn't look too happy about it. But, because, of course, they fired their GM, too. I understand it, but, that's the same GM that put together that. They had a good draft class. Jalen Walker, Xavier Watts.
They did.
James Pierce. They drafted Bijan.
But I still think they're going to look at, we paid Kirk Cousins. We could have gotten more weapons for Kirk Cousins. We didn't need to draft Michael Penix.
Last year you judged Kirk Cousins off of his first year back from a torn Achilles. A torn Achilles is a 2-year injury. You're never going to be right the first year back, and he didn't look it. Now, over the past month of this year, he looked good, and they won games because he's healthier.
I'm going to say it. I think Penix is closer to being on the trade block for Atlanta than Kirk Cousins is.
I don't disagree with that.
But
I think they're in better shape.
To who they bring in at quarterback and who the new head coach will value more.
I agree.
Anthony, Mr. No Knees. Damn.
Oh.
I mean, that's another thing, too. You got to look at his long-term durability. I mean, you look at Kirk Cousins over the course of his career, I mean, he's been pretty damn durable.
He has been. But, Anthony, bringing up this one out. Kenny Gainwell was a very good pickup for the Steelers this year.
Yeah, they definitely unlocked something with him.
Something we couldn't.
Yeah, surprisingly.
But again, we keep giving the ball to Will Shipley, so.
Oh, please stop.
Not Gainwell this year. I mean, you want to hear this? He had 537 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. Receiving. He only had 486 receiving yards, though. He had 73 catches.
Yep.
How?
I think he was their second leading receiver behind DK.
That's embarrassing. Shout out Caleb Johnson, who has become the most useless rookie running back this year because they haven't used him at all. But no, Gainwell's been a great piece for Pittsburgh. And honestly, that running back that just kind of slivers out of the backfield on some plays that are going nowhere, that can be annoying in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So, I want to catch up on some comments real quick because they're flying in still. What's up, Clint?
What's going on, Clint?
Oh, the Sack King is in the building. I don't care how it goes. I'm also picking Philly to beat San Fran. Well, George is too, and now I'm concerned.
Oh, no.
Now I'm concerned. Yeah, I think what George said is pretty accurate. Yeah, I think it was the front office that took Penix. But again, then that makes Blank think, well, if I just wrote this giant check for Kirk Cousins, why on earth are we drafting another one?
Yeah. And then now looking at the situation that you're faced with, and now there's turmoil with who should be the starting quarterback.
Oh.
Penix would be the cheaper one to trade.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he gets healthy. Maybe you put him in a system that works for him, but I wouldn't hold it. I don't have hope for our left-handed quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're cursed.
Clint said, justice for number 6. I hope Panthers get beat so bad Andy Dalton has to make an experience. Oh.
Gosh.
George said, Houston will walk in the pit and whoop Rodgers so hard that he'll take a chopper from the stadium Monday night straight to the dark place. Oh, yeah, but again, if there is the Texans' offense is still not great, and who is blocking TJ Watt one-on-one?
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, I'm sorry. The Eagles' defense was never going to let Indianapolis drop 30 on them. So I'm going fully locked in. Eagles defense, best defense in the league.
Really?
Yeah, they're not letting Riley Leonard go for 270 and 2 touchdowns.
I would not disagree with that. And Clint also went on to say, hard to trade Kirk Cousins. His contract is fully guaranteed. The team that trade for him is going to want Atlanta eat the money. Yep, and I don't think Arthur Blank is going to. I think Blank's like, look, I gave him that money. I think we look better with him. Someone has to figure this out. All right, so OG wants to know on YouTube. First of all, OG, thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate you tuning in, man. He asked, "Do we have a Super Bowl pick?"
Super Bowl pick. You know what? Just for old time's sake, Seattle versus New England in a new era.
Oh my God, but I like that. You're going Seattle and New England. Man, that's a good freaking one. Man, that's really good. I'm going to go Rams and Broncos.
Rams? You think the Rams make it all the way?
I trust Matthew Stafford, man. I trust McVay. I trust Stafford in the playoffs. I don't know how much I trust Sam Darnold yet.
Yeah. Definitely, they get Devontae Adams back healthy rest of the playoff run. Scary team to watch out for.
And I mean, Quentin Lake, their safety is going to be back healthy. They can run. I mean, they found this freaking gem of a running back named Blake Corum, which now not only did he kill Kyron Williams' fantasy value, thank you very much. Now they have a dual-headed monster in their backfield on top of their dual-headed monster receiver, and they're starting to get the tight ends more involved with Parkinson and Ferguson. Higbee's back healthy. Again, that defensive front still scares me. When they need to, they turn it up and they get after the quarterback. And again, it's all about quarterback play in the NFL. I trust Matthew Stafford. I know the Rams haven't looked great, but I still trust Matthew Stafford. So I'm going to stick with my guns there. I think the Rams have a real good shot. So yeah, I'm going to go Rams and Broncos.
Okay.
Now, OG, don't ask me who's winning this game either. I have no idea. George, Houston's defense is great. I think they have the best defensive football, but the offense still concerns me. The one person that's good at protecting the football against defenses is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So Anthony Penix's rookie deal is up in 3 years.
3 more years.
If they exercise the 5th-year option.
Very true.
Which,
So, hey, I mean, they could definitely get a trade for him. Get some assets back. Team takes on a rookie contract. You know who a good team could be if he could stay healthy. The Saints. The Saints could use a little bit extra help in the cap area. Taking on a rookie contract wouldn't hurt too much. But I think they saw enough from Shug so far to where they'll see where it takes them next year.
Yeah, I thought Tyler Shuck actually played pretty well for the Saints over the past month. Give Kellen Moore credit. Like I said, I understand the Saints weren't expecting much, but this is a team that we have projected to win 3 games this year, if that. And the fact that Kellen Moore got them to 6, I'm cool with that. I like what they did this year. I think Tyler Shuck played well. I mean, if they have a healthy Olave next year, they're in good shape. Jawan Johnson. I think they may want to start looking for a running back, though. I think it's time with Alvin Kamara.
I think Alvin Kamara's time's over. I think they have a solid duo without having to really overthink it too much.
You think Neal and the other guy?
I think Neal and Estime, I think they could do it. Neal would be your lead back, Estime to come in, kind of grind some yards out.
Interesting. And I mean, look, they're starting to build up the offensive line. They took Banks out of Texas to play right tackle. They took Fuaga the year before that to play left tackle. They're starting to build the lineup. I think Kellen Moore can have that Saints team looking good in a couple years.
Yeah.
All right, Georgie, real quick, is saying he's got Seahawks and Jags. Stafford's on the way out. I like that one. Georgie said Saints, I think, are fine at quarterback. They need more offensive help. Oh, no. Yeah, they do. Tackles, I think they're good. Interior O-line, they need help. They need more playmakers in the passing offense. Olave can't be the only guy. Jawan Johnson, though, is not a bad option at tight end. He had a really solid year.
I'm just worried. Actually, why do I feel like Jawan Johnson was like 34 years old?
Because I feel like you've heard his name. Well, I mean, he's 29, so.
He's not even 30.
I mean, dude, 77 catches for 889 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I really feel
That's
like
not a bad year for a tight end.
No, it's not.
And this is a guy that was a converted wide receiver in college.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver Penn State failed, but that's just another story for another day. But yeah, George, I think they're in good shape. See, George, you were good till you said this.
You know what? They need to bring him back just for that locker room morale boost.
What the hell are you talking about? All right, this whole situation's over. I am completely for this.
Well, we've successfully ignited Sam.
Yeah, you guys have done something all right. Got a small headache. You guys are making it worse with your Taysom Hill stuff. All right, Tyler, you want to get some college football talk in real quick before we hit the breeze?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so of course we all saw what happened last week. Miami takes down the reigning champs. Ole Miss wins an instant classic against Georgia. Oregon completely embarrasses Texas Tech, which that's why Texas Tech just went out and got the best quarterback in the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana did exactly what we expected them to do to Alabama. George, he's not a playmaker. What playmaker? Oh my God! Why are we doing this to ourselves, George? Don't do this.
No matter if they're positive or negative, he makes plays.
Yeah. Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's a freaking playmaker. I'm done talking Taysom Hill. All right, Tyler. So, do we want to go straight into the semifinal predictions, or do we want to give some thoughts on what happened last week?
We can give a few thoughts. I mean, definitely saw, I guess, a few upsets, if you would.
We saw one major upset.
One major upset. We all knew Oregon was going to win. We don't need to talk about that game. We knew what was going to happen. Maybe not quite a shutout, but we knew what was going to happen. Ohio State drops to Miami.
I want to get to that, but look at George's comment here. He said he'll take him, Kittle, CMC, Jennings, and Debo. Yes, I expect Debo to re-sign with the Niners.
Is that before or after they find a way to offload Ayuk?
I mean, it would have to be after. Well, Jennings is a free agent, too, you got to remember. So, honestly, like, if they lose Jennings and offload Ayuk, it's not the most craziest thing I've heard.
No.
I think him and Pearsall will actually be an interesting fit together.
Yeah, I think Taysom Hill and Pearsall will be a great fit.
College football, please. George wanted to go in specifics like after Ayuk. Yeah, they got to unload him first. All right, Tyler, I'll let you go first here. Give your thoughts.
I mean, just wow. Miami. This is the one game neither of us predicted an upset. We said it'd be close. Said it'd be a close game. But 24-14 victory. Carson Beck didn't light the world on fire, but he did one thing that helped them. He didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Julian Sane, 2 interceptions. Well, there you go.
That pick six, that was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
That is some 99 play recognition in Madden type stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Guys, why are we talking about Taysom Hill so much in the chat? What are we doing here?
Well, man, we got some Taysom Hill fans around here.
I'm talking about a guy that's so bad at every position they put him in that he has to play multiple to see if he can fit on a team. Get out of here with this. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Jennings will take a cheap deal to stay home. He's the only good fit. I could see that too, George. But oh my God, the Taysom Hill stuff. What are you guys doing right now? I'm talking about a guy that sucked as a quarterback, sucks as a tight end, sucks as a receiver, sucks as a running back. Soon he'll be a fullback. Oh my God, Tyler.
Well, no, Sam. I was actually I held back from making a joke earlier, but it's right here. He's gonna take Juszczyk's job.
I'm done. Stop. Please stop. We're done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
We officially lost him.
No, Clint, I will say this. I understand everyone likes to say, oh, Ohio State doesn't play nobody. Ohio State, I have never seen a team completely out-physical them the way Miami did. I mean, that defensive line of Miami, I mean, pick your poison with Miami. Somebody has always stepped up. I mean, you had the freshman Fitzgerald in the first game against A&M, 2 big interceptions, 1 in the end zone to win the whole thing. This time against Ohio State, and also in that game against A&M, Ruben Bain had 4 sacks, I think. And then in this one, you have Akeem Messidor with 2 sacks.
Yep.
Like, everybody that picked that they need to step up does something. And like you said about Carson Beck, well, we said, hold on, Clint, I appreciate you agreeing with me, but still, why is this becoming such a subject? I'm not mad. I'm morally blaming George, Clint. You know how this goes. It's always George's fault. But no, we said at the beginning of this playoff, what Carson Beck are we getting? If we get the Carson Beck that's going to turn the football over and become a consistent issue, they're not going to go far. But what is the best thing, which, first of all, by the way, the whole Miami didn't deserve to be in this thing, completely out the window now. Because Notre Dame, unlike you, they know how to beat Ohio State. But for everything that Miami team did, the two things that are peaking for them at the right time, their defense is playing absolutely out of their mind, and they are running the football consistently.
Yes, they are.
Because they don't get this far without their run game. I like their pass game's okay, but
it's
again,
okay.
Carson, exactly. Well, what Mark Fletcher's been able to do to two really good defensive fronts. I mean, he ran for 17 for 172 against A&M, and then 19 for 90 against Ohio State. And, of course, he did have the fumble against Ohio State, which, by the way, did you know that was his first fumble of the year?
Wow.
And Ohio State, look, Jeremiah Smith still does what Jeremiah Smith does. But they were able to completely decimate Ohio State's offensive line, which is something you don't hear from because Ohio State's always got one of the best O-lines in the country.
Oh, yeah.
What they were able to do against them was absolutely impressive. And the fact that they were just more physical than them. And Ohio State didn't have enough answers. And look, to be fair, this game was a tale of two halves. Miami dominated the first half. Then Ohio State came in the second half, which, I mean, it's the defending champs. I know there's a lot of new players on that team compared to last year. But what have I always said? Quote the great Joe Davis from Fox Sports in the World Series. What did he say when the Dodgers won the World Series? To beat the champ, you have to knock them out. And that drive in the fourth quarter to put them up 10 was big boy football. They kept Carson Beck upright the whole game. Carson Beck made plays when he had to. It was one of the most entertaining football games I've ever watched. I thought it was entertaining. Both teams were in a dead heap until the very end, and Miami just had that big boy football drive at the end of a game that not many teams do against Ohio State. So I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts? Because those are mine.
No, that sums it up great.
George said all the favorites went down except Indiana, so Oregon will take them out this week. Miami and Oregon for the night. George, there is no way in hell that I'm picking Oregon to beat Indiana.
Yeah, I can't do it. The one team that I was going to pick would have been if there was an Ohio State-Indiana rematch, I would have gave Ohio State the edge in the rematch. Now that's clearly not happening. So, man, I can't bet against Indiana the rest of this playoffs. They're going all the way.
Yeah, and Clint, that's the problem. That's what some of these teams do. There's only two teams that I have seen that have actually, I think Miami actually game planned for it better than Indiana did in the Big Ten title game. You're right. Just run the football. Don't make mistakes. But that's the thing. To beat Ohio State, you have to consistently, successfully run the football. This is why teams like Penn State have always had their issues with Ohio State. If you can't get a run game going early, you're not going to get it because they're going to make adjustments and you're not going to touch that football is not going to go far from the line of scrimmage at all. This is what Miami has done. And Miami is playing like Miami may have the best defense in the country left.
Even over Indiana?
Like, dude, they're playing at that defensive line. Messidor, Ruben Bain. How do you block these guys? These guys are going to be playing on Sundays in a couple of months, man. How do you stop these guys? They're getting like 4 or 5 sacks a game against really good offensive lines. Not to mention, like, they had to go on the road as the 10th seed into A&M, and they dominated them. Now, the score was the same, but defensively, they dominated them. They just went on a neutral site against the Ohio State and dominated them at the line of scrimmage. The game was close, but on each side of the lines, Miami was more physical.
Yep.
It was just that good of a game. I don't know how you stop these guys. I think Indiana's defense is great too, but dude, what they just did was unreal. They just fly all over the field, these guys.
So the only other game that just passed that's worth talking about, Ole Miss, Georgia.
Instant classic.
I called it. I said, give me Ole Miss for the rebound game. They played sloppy, but what was my key that I said? Chambliss had to play good football, and they had to run the ball well. Well, the running back, Kawan Lacey, ran for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chambliss, 362 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns. I mean, 2 receivers over 100 receiving yards. They both averaged 17 yards per catch.
Don't remind me about the one, okay? I don't want to remember about Trey Wallace, okay? I don't need to remember that.
Yeah. Sad times, Sam.
And I was told James Franklin was a good offensive coach. Could develop a wide receiver to save his life.
Oh, you thought he was a good offensive coach? Oh, yikes.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with Clint's point here. He's saying that Miami's defense can carry them to the national title. Yeah, because and Clint, I don't think it's that we forgot that Beck was a Heisman candidate at one point. It's just because there have been so many instances with Beck that it's been like there are games where it's like, Carson, what are you doing? Like there's like 3-4 turnovers in a game that cost his team. That's what we're saying. That's how impressive what Cristobal and them have done with him. They don't need Carson Beck to be throwing for 304 touchdowns a game to win the national title. He could throw for $150, 200 yards, a touchdown or two, and just play it safe. As long as you don't look, the Eagles in the NFL will teach you this. As long as you'll turn the football over, you're going to have a chance to win every game.
Yep.
And that's what Miami is kind of adopting. They're running the football like grown men, and they're just killing teams with that defensive line. I'm telling you, I have never enjoyed watching a defensive line as much in college than I do of watching Akeem Messidor and Ruben Bain. Those two guys are studs.
Yeah. So I will say, looking ahead to that Ole Miss Miami game, while Ole Miss doesn't have quite the defensive line or defense in general that Miami does, offensive line wise, they can run the football. They've ran it well all year.
So could Ohio State.
Yeah, I know. And yeah. Good point. But here, well, let's see. Let me see.
Well, why you
pull Ohio State's leading rusher?
It was Bo Jackson.
Yeah, and honestly, he was not that great.
But he didn't take over till like 5 weeks in.
He ran for 1,090. The next leading rusher had 361.
Who was that?
What was his name? C.J. Donaldson. And then they had like 300-yard rushers.
Isn't one of them Peoples?
Yes.
He's in the portal.
Oh.
Guess where he's visiting this week?
Penn State.
Yep. They're trying to get one more running back to add to that room with Carson Hansen and Quentin Martin, which
they could use it. But yeah, going back to
they're looking at a couple ones in the portal. It's been a very entertaining week. Now we're going to other schools. We took all the Iowa State players. Now we're good.
Yep. Now going back to Ole Miss, they've ran for, well, I should just say Kawan Lacey has ran for 1,464 yards. And not to mention, Chambliss has 520 on the year. And this is SEC football. I get it, Big Ten's come a long way. Still not SEC football.
Oh, hey, Miami's bring. You know how that song is, I'm bringing sexy back? I think Miami's bringing the ACC back.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Who else is going to do it?
Notre Dame, if they ever join it officially.
Yikes.
James Franklin of Virginia Tech.
Oh, no.
And no, Clint, I do somewhat agree. They do need Beck to kind of be Will Howard. But here's the thing. Miami don't got the offensive talent that Ohio State does. They don't got Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka and Cardell Tate. They got some solid playmakers, but their run game is their strong suit. If Miami can't run the ball, they're in trouble. But I do want to say something before you continue on about Trinidad Chambliss. That kid is a superstar. That's a kid. I don't care where I draft him. I think I could put him on my football team and I'd be okay. That kid is a superstar. He just went toe to toe with Georgia, who, by the way, the Georgia defense this year, it's still decent. It's not what it was back in 2022, 2023 with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, all those big guys up front. It's not the same. But he went toe-to-toe with Kirby Smart and outplayed his team.
Well, Chambliss is actually looking to get an extra year of eligibility.
I think he did. I don't know if it's official, but I think they are working on that he will.
Okay. So that's interesting because, honestly, the year he had this year would have got him drafted. So he's basically...
Absolutely.
He's betting on himself to project himself next year into like a top 10 pick. I guess that's what he wants. That's where he's looking at. That's his goal. But easily this year, I'd see like 3rd round, maybe 4th round pick.
Definitely, if he goes to the NFL, a quarterback you have to develop. But the way that kid played against a really good team in Georgia, I'd take him all day on my football team.
Yeah.
And credit to Georgia, they played a tough game. What did I say? Gunnar Stockton's a baller, man. That boy, did you see some of the hits that boy was taking? He was getting hot.
I knew it from last year. The couple of game sample size when Beck got hurt, everyone was like, this guy stinks. I was like, no, they got something here. He's not going to look too good just getting thrown in, out of nowhere when they're trying to compete for stuff, but give him time till next year. He's gonna be really good.
Oh, I'm all in. Gunnar Stockton's really, and like I said, the fact that he was able to hang in with some of those hits, he took, and he's not a big guy.
Oh yeah,
he's like what 6'1", 213. He's not a huge guy. He took big boy hits in that game, and he was delivering the football. They were moving down the field on Ole Miss's defense too, but. I feel so happy for Pete Golding and that Ole Miss group, what they've done this year. Screw Lane Kiffin. I'm happy what Ole Miss is doing. I honestly want Ole Miss to win the whole thing. I really do. A part of me, I love this Miami.
Be hilarious.
It'd be the greatest story in the history of college football.
That'll be a good luck to you, LSU. Have fun.
Yeah, have fun till the Alabama job becomes available and he bounces out of you next. Because I'll tell you right now, it may not happen next year. Kalen DeBoer is not lasting 5 more years in Alabama.
Nah.
This is not the standard. Getting to the playoff is not the standard.
Yeah, winning the national championship is the standard.
And it's not even just that. You got your doors blown off by Indiana. I understand Indiana's the best team in the country, but you got to at least show us you belonged. Now, honestly, the conversation officially, Miami should have been in. Maybe Notre Dame should have been in over these fools.
Maybe it would have been a little closer.
And I think this is let's be real. SEC and ESPN have a lot of love for each other. The SEC loves Alabama. They're going to put them in. I think this is the last year you're going to see the love to Alabama.
Yeah, they're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, they got to earn to get back in next year. But now it looks like it may be without Ty Simpson. Looks like Ty may be hitting the portal.
Oh, really?
As an official, it hasn't been put official yet, but there are rumors going around that he is thinking of hitting it.
Okay.
Wonder what some ideal spots for him would be. Indiana's already hit their portal quarterbacks for when Mendoza leaves. Maybe Oregon if Dante Moore leaves. Should be an option. I'm not really sure.
That's the other thing that I don't like about the portal. Like if you're Dante Moore with Oregon, why would you leave?
No. That's if he declares.
If he declares for the draft.
He's
okay, I thought you meant leave is okay.
No, I mean like declare for the draft because he projected could be the number 2 quarterback in this year's draft.
If I'm Ty Simpson, I keep my ass at Alabama. Stay put.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to stay around Kellen DeBoer much longer.
Yeah.
There's really not much to go through with that game. They just proved that game was exactly what we expected. Indiana is the best team in the country. But yeah, like we said, Oregon game, ain't nothing to talk about. Texas Tech's offense just sucks. Front seven was awesome for most of the year, but there's not much you could do when you score 0 points. But all right, Tyler, we ready to give our predictions for Thursday and Friday night's games?
Let's do it. Also, just want to say that I was 3 out of 4 on the predictions for the quarterfinal.
Speaking of which, by the way, before we do end the show, there is something NFL-wise we forgot to get to that you brought up to me over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to get to that right before we end the show, because I remember you bringing that up the other day, and I really want to kind of hit on that a little. But, all right, so what we got? We have Big Ten matchup versus SEC, ACC, right?
Yep, that's correct.
All right, let's start off with that Oregon-Indiana game.
Oh, man. So I know how earlier I said it's hard for me to pick against Indiana. But, man, would that not be the story for Oregon? The one team you lost to that kept you out of the Big Ten championship game. The one team that you were waiting to hopefully get a chance to play again, to get your revenge. This one's going to be a hell of a game. I got to pick my upset for the week. I'm going with the Ducks.
So you're going with George. You're on Georgia's side.
Yep.
This easily could be the battle of the two number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft. Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number 1 overall pick this year in the draft. Dante Moore could easily be number 2. He's easily the second best quarterback in the draft. Dan Lanning versus Kurt Cignetti, who, by the way, has already killed their transfer portal with like 3 of the best players in the portal, of course. Indiana is the best team in the country until I am proven otherwise. I'm going with the Hoosiers.
Is that actually their thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I did that pretty well, too.
Okay.
Okay, give me Indiana. Like I said, best team in the country until proven otherwise. Now we come over to a game that this is like a little heartstring game for us because we both love Miami. We both love. I love this Ole Miss story.
Oh man, I do too. It's tough.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first for this one.
Flint's going with Indiana for that for the first game. All right.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let me just point out, if I watch Trey Wallace go off for 150 yards again, I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
I hope it happens.
Would you stop? Let him hit the transfer portal, brought in 3 new wide receivers, and I don't think one of them they all had it. The closest to him was Devontae Ross with his 500-something yards. Makes me sick.
Yeah.
Trinidad Chambliss is a superstar in college football. I love what this kid brings. Their run game is great. Their offense is great. However, they're going up against a defense right now that I have no idea how you get answers for. The defensive front, Messidor, Bain, the secondary with Fitzgerald and those guys making plays. They love to beat you up on both, and Miami's run game is so good, and Ole Miss's defense right now, it isn't stopping many people. Even Tulane had a couple drives that they were able to score on them. So, oh my God. But who do you think is the more of the Cinderella team right now, Miami or Ole Miss?
I'm going to say Miami. Because Ole Miss, yes, I get it. Everything that went down with Kiffin hurt them. Well, actually, it doesn't look like it hurt them now, but you could imagine the impact that would have on a team and their success. But they've only lost one game, and then they just beat the team that they lost to. So they kind of redeemed themselves already. I still feel like they are a really good team and a team to beat. They're definitely better than the number 6 ranking that they currently hold.
Clearly proved they were a better team than A&M.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bama.
I knew that. But Miami, definitely, they got to be the Cinderella team. I mean, they got held out of their ACC championship game. Still don't know how that works. I'd love to see the detailed breakdown. It just doesn't make sense to me. When you play the same amount of games as another team and you have more wins than another team, how are you not in the championship game? Don't get it, but it's college football. Nothing makes sense. Here we are. So, definitely, Miami would be the Cinderella team. I gotta go with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is gonna outplay them offensively, and I think it's gonna be enough to get past that Miami defense.
So your national title game.
You're looking at these guys who are getting, like the team's getting like 4 or 5 sacks a game. This is probably one of the more mobile quarterbacks they're playing against. I know Stockton can move and get out there. Chambliss is a way better athlete than him.
I know, it's just Miami can come at you with that
game too.
I understand
and not just
that.
The one. 1,400 yards from their RB1 and almost 600 from their RB2.
I know, but it's just Miami's that front comes at you in so many ways. Can they block all of them?
But how easy is it to come at you if you don't know, are they going to pass or are they going to run? You can't stack the box because they got the wide receiver weapons. They've proven to beat you down the field too.
Please don't remind me of that.
Yep.
So
what do you do?
Clint said Ole Miss is playing with a chip on their shoulder. Also, I could see this being a low-scoring game, which favors Miami. That a low-scoring game does favor the Canes.
It does.
But I was so hyped and jacked up about how they played against Georgia. This is the part of the college football playoff that I do like because we are going to almost every year get a different winner because it's a better format for everybody to get a shot to win. There will not be a repeat champion for a while. I like that. Screw Lane Kiffin once again. I'm going with Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the Rebels.
Damn, man. Actually, we both picked the favorite in this game, so technically the favorite. Actually, Miami's got -3.5 on the point spread, so I guess they're the favorite. I don't know.
Who knows? Both games are 3.5, and they're both toss-ups. So it's not even close.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So wait, who'd you pick the other game? Indiana or
picked Oregon.
Okay.
Don't you slander me.
Okay, it's not slandering, but all right. So your national title game is Ole Miss against Oregon. Mine is Ole Miss against Indiana. Okay, I like it. That's going to be a
great game either way. Don't care how it goes down.
Nope. I don't care who wins either. Every one of these teams is deserving.
Yep.
All right. So before we get out of here tonight, Tyler, you brought up something to me over the weekend that you wanted to talk about real quick. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I started sitting back and thinking about all these NFL teams. Typically, the ones that are usually toward the more bottom of the barrel, and you see a lot of people with these phantom injuries that pop up during the last week or last couple weeks of the season. I want to know at what point are some of these teams going to get investigated for falsely reporting injuries? Good example would have been Theo Johnson listed with an illness by the Giants. Shows up at the Knicks game. Like, I think literally a day after they announced that.
Well, just to watch the Sixers kick their ass again.
And he even said it on the social media. He said, "I'm not sick." So, all right. Not going to touch that. Whatever the NFL decides they want to do, go ahead. They're probably not going to do anything about it. And another interesting one was the Raiders and Max Crosby, who was listed with what injury was it?
They're claiming they shut him down with a knee injury.
With a knee injury. But then I saw a video a day or two later of him playing basketball in his house, running around, doing crossovers.
Well, that as much of an NFL issue that is also a Max Crosby and a Raiders issue because Max Crosby was pissed that they shut him down. So he went on social media to expose them saying, do I look hurt to you?
That also plays into it. Like, these players are kind of fed up with it too. They're like, if I can play, I want to play. But then you also get into the same boat of, why are these teams competing in the playoffs allowed to rest some players? But then these other teams are going to get scrutinized for resting their players when the season's essentially gone and over.
Well, I think it's safe to say we know why the Raiders did. The Raiders are tanking. I think that's easily. So were the Giants that decided to win 2 straight games.
Yeah. So it's not an issue that's easily addressed because you can't pick and choose. It's either got to be every single team, that player has to have a legitimate injury to not play that week, or you can't do anything at all about
it. You know, Clint, I like this point. We may have to start having a lottery for the NFL draft.
Yeah, teams don't forcibly tank anymore.
And the first round pick for the next 5 years, the Chiefs. Patty needs 6 more rings.
Man, he's got to catch up to Tommy.
He'll never be as good as Tom. I don't care what you say. I like Clint's idea, though. I try to put like a system on it, but then I hate. But see, here's the I hate the NBA draft lottery, so then I don't want that. Also, Clint said, week 17 and 18, most players who are not in the playoffs just want to play to get the bonuses and incentives. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
But and like that's the thing, like, you know, there were things like last year, Josh Sweat didn't play in the final game last year in Philly. He had an incentive with sacks and he didn't get it. But there are just some organizations that are that awesome, like the Eagles. They paid him the incentive anyway. But then there's organizations like the Giants who probably don't do that.
Or the Raiders. I could see them being another one.
I do believe that there could be some open punishment in the coming future for teams that do stuff like this.
Yeah, I think eventually they'll start looking at it and want to make a change, but they definitely have to think out the process of how they want to implement it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can't punish a team that sucks for resting a player, but you can't punish a team that's doing good for resting a player.
The whole thing's a mess. But I think something eventually will get done. Some type of like fines or it's something in that regard will happen. Now we have to wait, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, Tyler, we have anything else we want to talk about?
No, that's about it.
I have last thing. I have two last words for the night. Screw Lane Kiffin, and Cam Newton is a moron.
We all knew all this.
Well, I know that, but I just feel like I have to say it one time for the road here. So
Lane Kiffin's a jabroni, and Cam Newton is a jabroni sandwich.
Yeah, Quinn, I don't know. I thought Keenan Allen got both of his incentives yesterday. Maybe he was short. I don't know. But either way, some organizations are good like that. They just pay the guy the incentive no matter what because of what they've done for their team. So,
yeah.
But then there are organizations that are like, nah, we don't want to do that. But
could you imagine if you were 9 yards short and your boss said, nah, you're not getting a bonus.
I finally kept my hamstring healthy for you, and this is the thanks I get. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And I went out and played to try and get this yardage total without Justin Herbert.
Oh, God.
Because you guys wanted to rest him.
I got Trey Lance throwing me the ball. You expect me to get 9 yards?
He can't even hit me on an out route. I'm going to need like 9 1-yard catches.
The Brian Johnson screen special. Jesus.
You might lose some yards there.
Needs 9 yards. Then at the end of the game, he's got negatives, so he's 18 yards short.
Oh.
All right, guys. Excellent show tonight. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat tonight. Georgie, Bruiser, Mikey, Anthony, Clint, OG throwing your comment in tonight. Thanks for joining the show tonight. Hope to see you here regularly on a weekly basis. Of course, you guys know Unbiased live every Monday from 7 to 9, even though it's already 9:30, but still, it doesn't matter. Friday Night Gridiron picks. We are finishing up the Friday Night Gridiron picks. We got about a month left. We'll have all of our postseason shows, and then that show will go. Hopefully, we'll have another show entering 609 at some point within the next couple of months as well. So stay tuned on that. But guys, excellent show tonight. Everybody who was in the chat tonight, thank you. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. We're trying to build something special here at 609. Off to a great start with the first two shows. We had the Friday night show last week. We have Unbiased tonight. Awesome night. Appreciate you guys all coming out to talk with us. Hope you guys have a great week. And we will see you guys on Friday night for our Super Wild Card Weekend predictions. So, guys, have a good week. We'll see you on Friday. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.